What's up? What's up? What is going on? Got Bigaford and Geishka Basco scenario in the house. What's up, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. We both came back from watching Black Widow, so
That is
it's fresh in
correct.
the minds. Fresh in the
that,
minds. Fresh in the
that
minds.
is good. I got a couple
Mhm.
people in the house. We got It's Your Boy. It's got Hot Takes Tuesday. The Nerd Man. What's up, brother? Sci-Fi Nation is in the house. Jacob. What's up,
Awesome,
guys?
awesome.
Glad you can make it. We're going to talk about some Black Widow. And if we do decide to spoil it, we'll let you know that we're going to spoil some shit first.
Mhm.
But right now, we'll just give our first impressions of it. What did you think of it, Geishka?
Honestly, I enjoyed it. I overall enjoyed it. It wasn't an amazing, breathtaking movie that oh my god, like there was no wow factors. I did
Mm-hmm.
get verklempt. I did get emotional at the end. I did.
You
It's
did?
because yeah, I did because I have daughters, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and they loved it. My two daughters, 19 and 16, you know, they enjoyed it. They really liked it. Of course, they're women. I can see why they enjoyed it as well. But you know, I overall I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm I'm glad that I didn't pay for it as well. I had my scene points, so I just add enough for three
Mm-hmm.
tickets and just
Mm-hmm.
pay 20 something dollars for popcorn and stuff. And then I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I do suggest to people don't take what all the critics, certain part of the critics are saying about it, and see it for yourself and come up with your own review about it as well.
Absolutely, 100%. I kicked out my camera by accident, guys. Give me a second as I set this back up. And for me, I'm going to say I didn't hate it, but
Mhm.
I didn't think it was really anything special, like you said. Um, it was entertaining, I guess, but for me, I don't know. It just didn't hit in some spots. I know you said you got emotional some scenes. I didn't get the
Oh, it's just at the
emotion in
end.
it.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's also because I was also like overhyped because everybody was saying, "Oh my god, it's so good! It's an amazing movie." So I went into this and I was thinking that I was going to get this amazing movie,
Mhm.
but it was okay. You know what I mean? I'll tell you one thing I didn't like though. This might be a spoiler,
Mm.
but that beginning intro, it fucking sucked.
It was long.
It was long. I mean,
Yeah.
they've never opened up a movie like that before Marvel, at least not that I can remember. And that felt like a James Bond intro.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It,
Yes.
it felt like a James Bond intro, and I was not digging that, man. Was
It was different. It wasn't your typical Marvel beginning. It
hmm
was different.
it was.
It's really a backstory about Natasha Romanoff. It really is. I liked it. I'm not gonna. I did like it. Had issues with it. You know, um, I had issues with one particular character that they, spoiler alert, gender swapped.
hmm
But I see how they wrote it in. Made sense. Okay, but they could have gone a different route. Again, right? Many times you hear me say lack of creativity, lack of really, you know, trying to do something not to please the masses, right? Because
hmm
really, I just found that took it for me, crossed the line a little bit. And I can see where, those other critics are gonna come in at with their guns blazing and massacre it because of that, right?
hmm
But since we're not spoiling it, I'm not gonna get into it until the host says, "Okay, we're doing spoilers." Then we'll go all out on it. But
hmm
overall, I enjoyed it. It wasn't amazing. It's not your typical uh, wow Marvel moments. Even the end credit was
Meh.
okay. It
Yeah,
was
you know
like
what I mean? It's like,
okay. Honestly, you know what the feel I got? I feel like this could have easily been a Disney Plus TV series.
it could have been on Disney Plus. Well, what it
Yeah.
is on Disney Plus, but I
No,
mean, it didn't
you know
have
what
to
I
be in
mean.
the theaters. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
For me, it wasn't a huge movie caliber. Now, there was a cool fighting scene, that the whole destruction
Mm-hmm,
thing, that
mm-hmm,
was cool. That was pretty cool. And you can tell that the money was in that, and the budget
mm-hmm.
was there for that. So it's not your typical TV show, but storyline, yeah, it could have been done in a couple of episodes, 10 episodes or 6 episodes, and they could have even
Absolutely.
probably done a better job and
Nerdman
explained the
said,
story.
Nerdman said, I told you not to get overhyped, but you were one of the reasons why I was getting overhyped. You guys were in there talking about, oh my God, it's the best Marvel movie. It's so good and this and that. So I figured, okay, this movie's going to be fire.
Who
And
said it was the best Marvel movie?
oh
Nerdman?
man, I believe Nerdman was the one that said that. Yes, I believe he did actually say that. So it was the best Marvel
Best?
movie. Yes,
Oof.
he did say that. He said it was the best.
Did
He
you
wasn't
give
the
him?
only one. Paul said
Yeah.
it was the best too. And I was like, okay, Ashley gave it a 9 out of 10. I was like, okay, these people are liking it. And then I got Danny's text, and I was like, oh shit, really?
Well, I can see why they liked it. I really like the backstory. I really like the backstory. I can see why they really liked it. I
I like the
enjoyed
back.
it. I don't think it's the best. That's for sure. It's not the best.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Infinity War will forever be the best
Facts.
of all of them. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. So what did you like in the movie? You said the backstory. What else?
I have to say I like the settings. The freaking when she's in Norway,
Mm-hmm.
man, those views. Norway's a spectacular country, man. And when I saw the mountains and stuff, I was like, wow, this is a nice setting. The effects were amazing, hands down. The fighting choreography, by far, one of the best fighting choreographies I've seen in many Marvel movies.
It was good.
That I have to say,
I agree.
the fighting was off the chain. A lot of eye candy, definitely a lot of eye candy. But I really enjoyed what's her name? The actress Pugh, or
Yeah.
Yelena, yeah, Yelena, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she's an instant MCU caliber. If the torch, which is pretty much, it's not a spoiler, everybody knows where this is going, right? That it's pretty much a handoff to her to take the realm of the Black Widow as an Avenger or in the MCU. So I think she's gonna do great. She has that on-screen presence, and yeah,
Actually,
she's no Scarlett Johansson, but she has her own appeal to her.
I think she was better than Scarlett Johansson in this movie, though.
Yes,
I really think she was better than Scarlett Johansson. She was funny. You know what I mean? When she was talking about the pose, that shit made me laugh.
and when she does it, she's like,
yeah. When she does the pose, I was like, yeah, that's funny. Like her one-liners and her jokes, they really hit for me. Because
it was proper. It wasn't forced, and it fit in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The family dynamic was good too. You make it. Well, we can spoil some things. You make you think that the family, they don't really care and stuff like that at the beginning, like just doing whatever. But at the end of the movie, you find out that they really do. That was nice. Nerman said it is the best MCU movie, but I don't like most MCU movies. Plus, I was trying to stop Paul hype basting and intro. Plus, I had problems I wanted to talk about in spoilers. Hey man, if you want to come on, you can come on, not a problem. I can send you the link, just let me know. There are some problems with it, like I said, the beginning of it was I just didn't like that intro, man. I
just felt too long.
Yeah, it felt way too long. What were your negatives? What do you take away from it?
Oh my god, since you started spoiling it, I guess I can get
into
it.
Yeah, we could spoil it.
The whole fact that they gender swapped Taskmaster. Already they have enough women power in this movie. They didn't need to go that route. I felt also already you had the super soldier, the Russian super soldier. I forgot his name. I'm blanking out on names right now. The Red Guardian.
The Red Guardian,
yeah, the Red Guardian, right? which he's like doofus is part of his character, but I think they kind of overdid it, at one point. But besides that, I can't really they could have gone a different route with it. They had so much material in the comic books to go and fetch that why gender swap? Like they tied it in well with the story, but for me it was just too much woman, or too much, like I said, and it was an estrogen powered movie. That's what it was.
But did you not know that Taskmaster was going to be a woman? Because I
didn't. I did not know. No, I stay away from spoilers when I want to watch a movie. I stay as far away. I see articles and then I see people talking about certain things in streams, and I turn it off right away when they start talking about certain things, because I want to go in there with a clear mind and be surprised or be at awe. I don't want to go influence with, it happened to me with the first episode of Loki this year. And I didn't like that, and then I had to rewatch it again, where I ended up changing my opinion because I was listening to other people. I let that influence me. I don't like that, so I just toned it out. But those were major things, really, and not that big of a thing. It's just that in the overall spectrum of it, comparing it to other Marvel movies, it's not the same caliber, but it's a different thing. It's a whole different. It's a backstory, basically what it is. So that's why it's different.
Well, we get what happens to her after Civil War, right? So
exactly,
it was okay, I'm like you. It's like, it's hard for me to say, well, I had an issue with this, I had an issue with that, and I didn't really have issues. It's just it wasn't like, yes, you know what I mean? Like, some of the scenes were nice, some of the shit was good, the jokes were funny, but there wasn't those just like, oh my god, yo, this is fucking fire moments, I didn't have any of that in there. And I found that the stakes were very low. I didn't think the stakes were high enough in this movie. You know what I mean? Spoiler alert, guys, just so you know, I was thinking that somebody was gonna fucking die.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, nobody died.
I thought Melina was gonna end up dying.
I thought
there's the mother. I thought she was gonna end up dying in that battle.
I thought Red Guardian was gonna die.
Really?
Yeah, I thought Taskmaster was gonna kill him.
Especially when he did the whole Black Panther move there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right.
I was like, because he mimics everybody's fighting styles, right? You have him sitting down in one scene and he's just watching video footage of Hawkeye, right? Moving around and battling and stuff. And then obviously they've had him watching everybody fight. So even Black Panther, I guess, because he pulls that Black Panther move with the claws coming out, right? So I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting.
I must have missed that scene.
Yeah, he did the Black Panther move.
No, not the Black Panther move, when he was watching them fight.
Yeah, he was. Well, it was when he's actually the screen's on. It's Hawkeye, like doing a spin around and doing the whole with the bow, right? Which she does in the movie as well, right? With the bow and arrow when they're the car chase. That was another thing I liked too. The car chases were on point.
Yeah, the car chase was nice. And when they're on the motorcycles and shit, that was wicked too, Like I said, there's things about this movie that I was like, okay, this is good, but it just didn't have that wow factor to me, man. And I'm guessing, like I said, because it was hyped up for me before I went in, so I was expecting to see something fucking amazing. And it was just, man, nobody, like, where are the stakes,
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just what Sci-Fi Nation said about physical copies. I suggest that if you can, I'm not saying to spend $30-$40 on it, but when it goes on Walmart, usually they go on sale for like $10, $5 sometimes, movies. I suggest you get physical copies if you're a fan of having those, because I buy them all. Even if I have Disney Plus, I buy them all, because at the end of the day, you're buying membership to Disney Plus, and they can change and decide not to do it anymore and stuff, which is a chance. But at least when Wi-Fi is out, I can pop it in my DVD player, my Blu-ray player, and actually play it. But to each their own.
Yeah, Max Game said Taskmaster is supposed to be great and powerful in the comics, and
Mm-hmm.
then they throw in a
Facts.
gender swap reveal that they aren't in control of the Red Room, and that's not natural abilities. Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
the Red Room stuff. Okay, I get it. You know what I mean from her backstory and stuff like that. But again, I didn't find the stakes were too high. Like I was expecting someone to fucking die, and did the bad guy even die?
Well, we don't see his body. He got burned up.
Exactly.
He got burned up in the plane because you see it. Yeah, well, you see it engulf and you see his glasses fly off,
Okay.
right? So I say he died, but you don't see a body. So yeah,
Exactly. I check the $5 bin all the time, sometimes $10 stuff. Yeah, if
Cool.
you like buying physical movies, you could definitely do that, you know. But again, like I said, the movie's not horrible. The movie's not great. It's just in the middle right there. It was a good start to the phase 4. I'm not going to say it wasn't. What did you think of the characters like Red Guardian and
Oh, he's great. He was great, man. He was funny. He was funny, man. I can't really complain about any character. Everybody was good. Like everybody played their role. It's just, you know, it was a good movie, man. It was entertaining. It's just I had a problem with that Taskmaster being gender swapped because it was already an estrogen packed movie. I didn't see the need with it, you know. It would have been cool to see a new, you know, somebody powerful and cool. Go ahead.
No. I was just waiting for you to finish.
What's up, man?
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. How are you guys doing? You seem like
doing good. But again, you're talking all this fucking dookie again, bro.
I still think so where are you trying to say this ranks among MCU movies? Which ones are better? I mean, I can understand you saying Winter Soldier. I know for some strange reason you like Infinity War.
Bro, guys, do you know this guy put
where do you
Infinity
think
War and Captain Marvel on the same fucking level?
Yeah.
I guess he's a DC fan.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, you see?
That's why.
There you go. Yeah. No, but on a serious note, I'm just saying, like, I understand you guys rank Infinity War quite high. So after that, where are you putting Black Widow? Are you really putting this in the middle of MCU movies? Like, where does this rank amongst solo movies?
Hold on, I'll tell you. I have a list up here. I'll find my list and I'll tell you.
I can't see anyone honestly telling me this isn't like near the top. Even if you don't think it's the best one, though, this has to be near the top.
I'd say. Well, hold on. Let me see my top 10 before I make a judgment. Okay, so my top 10: Infinity War. Infinity War is not better than that. It's not better than Avengers. Not better than Civil War. It's not better than Winter Soldier. It's not better than Iron Man. It's not better than Black Panther. It's not better than Guardians of the Galaxy.
You've gone wild, bro.
It's not better. It's not better than Doctor Strange. Out. I would put it at number 10.
Which is wow. Okay.
I would put it at number 10.
It's still pretty high, but I think you're wiling out, like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. I mean, everyone's always complaining about like how these movies aren't taking themselves seriously. How like I'm not. To be fair, you're right about the stakes issue in terms of nobody dying, but in terms of feeling that these characters are threatened, I think Taskmaster in the beginning was extremely threatening. I felt like literally. Like this was, I went after somebody. I went off at somebody who compared Winter Soldier to the Terminator. This Taskmaster felt like the Terminator. Like when he was driving in that, or she was driving in that tank. Eventually, we find out going through the streets. It just felt like these guys are in serious threat, and there was no way they could. If they were going one-on-one with the Taskmaster, they would have got their ass beat and killed. They got out there by the whatever of their toes, right? And yeah, the threat level was, it did feel like there was high stakes. It did feel very serious. The jokes were not forced, like half of those movies that you were talking about, which is a big complaint. So it fixes the villain problem. The final villain as well, not just Taskmaster, but the final villain was actually pretty threatening and excellent. And the way she overcomes him was triumphant and cool.
Smart.
And smart, right? And a callback to her, what she used to do in the Avengers as well, where she would pretend she's on the, in the weaker position, so that but she's actually the one interrogating them. I thought that was a nice little touch. The humor again, the humor again, not forced. Plenty of it from Pew, from the Red Guardian, never felt out of place. Was actually genuinely funny. I think it's so, and yet the movie is actually a serious spy movie. It's everything they say. I think they say Winter Soldier is, but that sometimes Winter Soldier falls a little bit short of, even though I like that movie a lot. This one just takes itself pretty damn seriously for the most part.
Which it does, and like I've said, it's hard for me to pick something that I didn't like about it. I said right away the intro at the beginning I did not like. I thought it was way too long. It felt like a James Bond intro to me. But
which is not a bad thing, by the way. I don't, but fair enough.
Depends.
But that's the thing, right? It's like what Hot Take said, right? It's the fact that it's it's a spy movie, right? It's going back to spy movie. That's why it felt different. It felt different right from the beginning.
But it's not that it even felt different. It seemed out of place. You have 23 Marvel movies where they never start a Marvel movie like that, and then all of a sudden you get this James Bond intro at the beginning. For me, it was just way out of place.
But do you want to see the same movie over and over again? Like, I don't understand. I want
them to start the way they start their movies. Give me the fucking Marvel logo and then get straight into it. I did not need that musical monologue. I did not need that musical monologue. No, they had a long fucking musical monologue after the fucking logo. And it was
they didn't. They literally had like the little scene with the family where you meet them when they're in America. And then it goes into the.
They had that, and then it goes into the Marvel thing, and then it goes into that long ass intro. And the intro for me it was like, why did you do this? You didn't need to do that. So I wasn't feeling that.
I do have some problems with it, and I don't think it's a masterpiece either. So I wanted people to go in with low expectations.
Except for when you fucking sitting there calling it the best Marvel movie.
I was. That was me though. Like,
first so I expect people to go into it with low expectations when you're saying it's the best Marvel movie.
No. Wait a second. You and Paul. I kept trying to like go, hey, put on the brakes here. Let's stop trying to get this into like spoiler territory and telling everyone like this intro is like the best thing they'll ever see. I was just like trying to do that. But also saying to me subjectively, and I'm somebody who hasn't been the biggest fan of like the Marvel movies. I think this one was a really, really good step in a new direction, and I applaud it for that. I think it wasn't like kind of generic Marvel.
No, it wasn't.
It was funny. It was full of heart. I felt the family thing. It was properly set up, that family thing. They never undercut any of those moments, emotional moments, for jokes. And it was a badass spy thriller. And that to me is actually better than most MCU movies. I'm like, because I don't buy it. I don't buy into some of the other stuff.
You see, the only reason though is that the jokes hit. It was still jokey. It was still Marvel formula. That they still had the jokes in there. They still had, tight scenes where something's going on and then it's the joke, right? Like she's going down to destroy the fucking the Black Widows, and then she does the pose and she's like, oh, right, there was a joke there. So they still did the same joke thing. The only difference with this one is that I would say all of the jokes hit. Yes.
All of
the jokes hit. Yes.
And there was even people that were commented, right? People were talking before the movie came out about how there's going to be period about menstruation and stuff like that. There was none of that. They did speak about, You know,
Yeah.
the procedure, what they did to them, right? They removed the
Mhm.
uterus, and they were talking about it. And you can tell that, you know, he was getting all squeamish. Okay, enough, right? But it was funny because if you go back, you know, and I'm defending that humor. If you go back to any, you know, movie or whatever, they will talk about dicks. They will talk about anything. And it was good to see that reverse, right? So it was.
I think the correct phrase for it is it was adult humor or darker humor.
Yeah,
and that's why it landed a little bit better. As you said, that thing with the pose it killed me. It literally that was the most I'd laughed probably at a joke in an MCU movie. The way she did that, I don't know, there was something about it, and it was a beautiful callback to everything you'd seen of Black Widow, and I was just like, yeah, that's so true.
Even when she's asking her, why you do the pose, you know, and she's like, oh, you see you doing that, it was just hilarious, and then she tries it.
Look at me.
Do you know what? I wish she hadn't have tried it though. That was my only thing. It was still good when she did it, but like I thought she should just be her own Black Widow and just be like, I'm too cool to be doing all these shitty poses and stuff.
But that was Marvel. That was Marvel putting that joke in at that spot, right? You know,
but I don't think she did it to try it. I think it just happened, and that's why she went, "Oh, disgusting," right? Because she felt disgusted that she actually did it. So it was good.
And she's I'm coming back 1 second.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
I was just saying, and then she's talking about how she flicks her hair when she does it. And
it was man. You know what? It was a good movie. It was entertaining. You can't compare it to many other ones. Like, you know, you guys throw me off with this whole ranking thing. I just saw how many movies there are, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to rank all my movies. I haven't done that yet, but I would have to say it's somewhere. I would say above the middle for me, but I would have to rank all my movies. I haven't done that.
My top 5 sometimes changes all the time. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh yeah, no, I put
depends on your mood.
But the top 10 will always be the same. So my 10th movie that I have here is Ant-Man, and I'll put it above Ant-Man.
Oh, really? Ant-Man made your top 10? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Ant-Man made,
and he's putting it above Ant-Man.
Yeah, I'm putting it above that.
That's the right answer then. But
But Thor: The Dark World is my number 11.
Again, that's crazy than me putting Infinity War.
Thor: Dark World.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like Dark World. Fair enough. I feel that movie was underrated by a lot of people.
Facts. Me too.
That's interesting. I want to just ask something though. What is this whole thing about Taskmaster being a woman and that being something that lowered your score for the whole movie? I mean, it was organically.
Not that it lowered. It's they're doing it too often. I know a lot of people saying, "Yeah, it doesn't matter, gender swapping and stuff like that." I just don't think it's genuine. They're doing it for the wrong reasons. They're doing it to be politically, appease and be politically correct.
But it was so organic to this story. I don't like if it was and that's just they just changed the gender, then I would be like, I'd totally be with you. But in this story, I mean, what other reveal of that character could have been more organic to Black Widow's story? I just don't see, unless it had been a son rather than a daughter.
They exactly. They could have done that, but they didn't. They kept it all, related to why wasn't it a son there who died instead, right? You can say that. Why did it have to be a daughter that was there? Why not a son?
True, but that was a callback to an earlier movie where they'd already said it was a daughter, right? I don't know this. I remember having this argument with Ashley over, Black Widow's backstory and how, I thought she was a pretty weak character in the MCU. And she was telling me that they have presented bits and pieces of her backstory. And I'm pretty sure they mentioned what's his name's daughter before in the MCU.
I would have to go back. I haven't seen
So I think that's why it had to be a daughter. Because they'd already done it, and that's not the director or the filmmaker's fault. That's the backstory that was already there in the
That's right.
MCU.
That's right. It's just
But-
that I find it's happening too much. I find that it's always a subject, right?
Mm.
It goes back to the source material. You can go back to, okay, we race swapped or whatever. It doesn't bother me so much to race swapping, but when you start gender swapping, especially in this movie where it's predominant all about women, right?
So why can't it be a little bit more about women? That's my thing. I don't know where that
because
was.
that character is not a woman. That's why. It just bothers me a bit. I'm not 100% like fuck this movie because of that or anything. It's just that I was disappointed. That part disappointed me. That's all.
And
It's
that they wrote it in properly, correctly. 100%. They made it work, but I was expecting to see a dude underneath that, and for some reason, why did I thought a feeling it was going to be like Hawkeye for some weird reason. I'm like, oh, is it him? Yeah, I thought are they going to fuck this up and it's going to be freaking Hawkeye?
I don't know. Anyway. For me, I guess because when I seen the first trailer, it just didn't look like a dude's physique. Yeah, so I was like, well, I know it's going to be a female. You know what I mean? So I didn't have an issue with that. Plus, I never followed Taskmaster in the comics too much, so it didn't really bother me that it was a female. But I do understand what you're saying. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these movies, it feels like they're getting rid of the male presence, the male superhero, the male bad guy, you know what I mean? And it's like everything they want to do is make this a woman, make it a woman. And I want to see some male dudes, man. I'm sorry. I want to see some fucking, rock action movies, back like when we had the Arnold Schwarzenegger shit. I want to go back to that. So.
Well, I mean, again, I don't think that you can.
Then why call it a Taskmaster?
I don't know. I just don't think you could objectively say that's something that you can ding the movie for, because that seems like something you're imposing, something you're taking from your own personal kind of issues with maybe comic books or these films, and you're projecting that on the movie. It's not an actual problem in the movie in itself.
No. I'm not. I'm
right.
I said it's my opinion that's the thing that bothered me. I'm not saying that it's a terrible part of the movie. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for me, it bothered me personally because I see. When you read the books and you read the comics and you see the history, the evolution of many characters, and then they go changing them, like Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, right? All of a sudden, she's the most powerful because Kevin Feige is saying she's the most powerful superhero in the
really
MCU.
Forced. That's really forced. That's the difference. That for me isn't organic. There's nothing in the movie Captain Marvel that presents to me why this woman in particular should be the most powerful. The way she gets her powers, everything. Why does that make her more powerful than Thor or Hulk? A spaceship blows up.
It showed it at Endgame that she was more powerful.
No, but what I mean is the story doesn't justify making her that powerful, and that's why I mean that for me is forced. That's not creative. That's just like, hey, let's just do some female empowerment thing that doesn't necessarily work for the story or work for the character. This one, I don't think they did that.
No, even though it worked for the story, though, just let's go back and look at the stuff we saw already, right? WandaVision, female. Falcon and Winter Soldier, female. Loki.
What do you mean?
Female, right?
What do you mean female?
Falcon, WandaVision, female villain. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, right.
Female villain. Loki, female Loki that's basically outshining Loki in his old show. And then now we get the Taskmaster thing. So there's a pattern there that's going on.
By the way, the female Loki is awful.
I agree.
It's true that they're doing a female Loki. Yes, that's true.
Right. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like what Gaishka's saying. He's like, they're doing it all the time now. Yes. It's like again.
Well, I have some problems with the movie in regards to that. But I'll say this, that the females that you're talking about in So there's a male villain in this, and he's very good. He's one of the top MCU villains. No, I think he's one of the top. He was actually genuinely.
He was good, but
evil. He was genuinely evil, and what he was doing was evil.
Yes,
I would have liked to have seen more. Yeah, no, well, that's true. That could have been that. But I think I had enough of him, like in those final scenes where I was like, what, and knowing what he was actually doing. You know, a lot of the time I feel like these MCU villains, what they're actually up to is pretty weak sauce. I'm like, what was the guy in Doctor Strange really up to? He's trying to stop death or something like. I didn't even understand. It was a weird villain plan. This was a genuinely like, wow, I feel this. I want this guy not to succeed. I want this guy to fail. I want the hero to succeed in this situation because I don't want him doing this shit to like little girls and whatever. So there was an emotional connection there with the villain plan that I usually don't get in the MCU movies at all.
Right, but
I can understand that.
That's what impressed me though. The fact that you see an older man, you know, putting his hands on the shoulders and stuff, and an empowering role, and then smacking her and punching her. You know, I was impressed to see that. I honestly was, because I was like, oh, this is
dark.
Yeah, exactly. It was dark. Right. So, yeah, I agree. That definitely was good.
So what was the problems you had? Yeah, what problems did you have with it, Nerdman?
I thought so I'm gonna just go through like I thought they need to just call Natasha a mutant and her sister a fucking mutant.
Oh my god, yes.
There was a moment like I don't care. In the car moment?
Yeah,
when they fell off the top of the building together, and Natasha just smacks into like I'm like, she's dead, dead.
Me too.
Don't tell me anything. When they parachuted down was kind of weird as well with Taskmaster. They like parachuted down, and then all of a sudden they're just on the ground. Some of the editing in this was mad as well.
Absolutely, 100%.
Like the editing between the fight with Red Guardian and Taskmaster
was
awful.
Horrible.
You're just like, wait a second, I thought this is about to go down. As you said, he was about to turn in to do his Black Panther style fighting, and then it just cuts and it never comes back to a proper fight between Red Guardian. And I think Red Guardian was like, his humor amazing, but truly mishandled when it came to
because it wasn't about the man fighting in this movie. It was about the women kicking ass
and there was even another scene somewhere at the beginning, and I was like, wait a minute, what the hell just happened? Because it seemed like something was happening, and then they cut the scene, and the next thing you know, I think it may be in the parachute scene or something, and the next thing you know, they were on the ground or something like that, and I was like,
that
was a really bad cut, man. You know,
it's like they teleported at one point.
Yeah, it felt like that. Yeah.
I just think that Natasha has superpowers. Just don't tell me she doesn't have superpowers anymore.
I agree.
Like
I counted at least 3 times where I said, yeah, she's dead. When that car crashed, I said, they're dead. You know what I mean? Like
the car crash, right?
Yeah, I was
that
like, she
car crash
down the subway,
like, and they just get up and start running. Like I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah,
you're not human anymore. Don't tell me you're human. Just forget it. Her mother said that she was selected for genetic perfection or whatever the fuck. So
that's when I thought, oh, are they hinting mutants when she said that?
Right. That's what I was thinking.
That's what I thought. Is that a mutant plug-in right there? Yeah.
It could be, but it would have to explain a lot, because like Nerdman said, that was the first, when she fell off that roof, I was like, Natasha's dead. Movie should be over. Yeah. Like this movie should be over. She hit the fucking side railing, and then she fell down more, hit another side railing, and then hit the bar, and then hit the ground. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Like, and I was afraid that for all the movie had done, because it was so grounded, for all the movie had done, people were just going to switch off just from that, because and call her a Mary Sue and do all of that, because the movie is really good.
They might,
but like once you go like, wait a second, she's dead here, she's dead here, she's dead. Like that car crash scene as well. You reminded me of that. That is fucking crazy. Like, how do you survive that? Both of them, and then they just get up and start running. It's like
with nothing, no limps, nothing, nothing hurt. They just got up and started running. That's why I say the stakes in the movie for me at that point, I was like, there's no stakes in this movie. Yeah.
Well, Yelena was pretty banged up after that car crash. Actually,
she just had a nosebleed.
No, not after no. She had a gash in her arm. She bled, and there was blood all over the the little grill there. That's where Taskmaster decided to go down because he thought they went down, and they were were actually in the see another comedy point when they were up there, and he goes, we were here for 2 days, right, hiding, and you see the tic-tac-toe marked on the side of the vents because they were there for 2 days, so they were playing tic-tac-toe. So little funny things like that. It was
yeah, they did a lot of that stuff, you know what I mean? But like I said, man, she should have died in a lot of those scenes.
No, go on.
No, finish up. I was just gonna say, even still, she had cuts and shit, but they would have broken legs, broken arms. You know what I mean? They would not have been able to crawl out of there and run.
That's what I was gonna say. Me or
both of you?
I think this is a good 8.5 out of 10 for me. Like, there's so little that's bad. Like you have, as I said, if you can get over the fact that she's fucking as a mutant with powers, because that's not what's been set up in the rest of the MCU, like, at all. And I think that like it is a legitimate criticism to make of the movie. Because, as you're saying, I had to pretend she was human to feel the stakes. Right. Because I think Taskmaster was scary, was fearsome, was like the Terminator, was coming after them relentlessly. I had to pretend that they weren't just rubber, indestructible, people to feel the tension of those scenes after,
Well, you see that part, right, where you're talking about the fight in the beginning, because it's in the beginning that you get that impression. The whole this Taskmaster as a even to quote Danny, what he texted Anzo and myself was, he's a badass, right? So absolutely, the way that Natasha's beat up in that scene on the bridge, but then you have when she goes to Budapest and she's taking off her shirt, and Yelena's looking at her, you see the huge bruises on her back and stuff. So I kind of like the fact they did that, because it showed that she was, she has suffered pain. But freak, man, she flew. She had to have like broken ribs and shit.
Yeah.
She's walking around like nothing right after that. I hear what you're saying.
And then then they're jumping out of the plane, right? And I'm like, okay, they're fighting in the air, and then they go through this glass plane window, and I'm like, okay, cuts all over your back, you know what I mean? Like back of your head and shit. You're not gonna go through glass and not get no fucking bruises, bro.
They shoot up helicopters as well, and then she just like, how's she not dead in that fucking helicopter right now? Like, and then she gets out and like just blows. It's crazy.
Because when the first shot hits the helicopter, it hits the cockpit to where she is, right? And it looks like it's bulletproof. So I'm like, oh, the helicopter's bulletproof. And then when they show the scene where it's hitting the side, the bullets are going right through. So I'm like, well, she should be dead at this scene,
I was saying, what type of fucking idiot loaded that gun that it ran out of ammo so damn fast?
Yeah, exactly.
It usually has you have a box, right, full of freaking, and it's feeding in.
And then shots such an easy target at her as well. Like, it's right in the middle, right there. Like, and with a machine gun, and I don't know. It was like she gets the time to blow it up. I mean,
puts it on autopilot, takes the freaking
right. Kneels down, aims,
right.
Like, okay. And she's like, she's dangling like Tarzan.
Oh my
she's
god!
Like Tarzan to go down.
She's got super strength as well. Carries like a what is he? 300 pounds, something like that.
With one arm while she's holding onto a helicopter, right?
While posing sexually.
Maybe she.
And they weren't afraid of the butt shots in this, man. Like, I know. Didn't give a fuck about a butt shot. Like,
I know. My son said the same thing. It's like, oh, another butt shot, eh? I'm like, they had a few.
She looked
Yeah,
like
and she was producer on this one, so she liked that shit. So
Yeah,
she can't say anything about being objectified in this movie because
Yeah.
she looked like milk in that white outfit, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was fire, man.
Wanted to dunk my cookies.
Yeah, she was fire. At the end of the movie, they showed like a close up of her face and shit. I'm like, this she is fucking hot, man.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Man. She is.
She is
And
so
and
fucking
and Yelena's pretty good too, man. I'm saying.
yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
And like I told this guy, man, I think I think she stole the show. I think she was better than Black Widow in this movie.
No, I just think you're saying that because she had more jokes, dude. I think
It wasn't even about
It was her
joke.
charisma. It was her presence. She had this presence.
And the way she delivered her lines and shit, you know what I mean? She did a really good job, man. And I think that she had the heart too, bro, right? Because she was like, oh, I thought it was real and this and that. Like there was heart in her performance as well. And I just
I liked when she got sad around the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me that's not real. I thought that was beautifully acted by her. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely.
The best part of my life was fake.
But steal the show though. That's like saying Black Widow herself wasn't fucking badass and super heroic. And
not saying that at all. I just think she was a little bit better.
And the scenes that they were talking, I have to agree with Anzo. She was more. I felt she was more present.
Yeah, me too.
She took over those scenes.
No, but that's on purpose. That was that was done with intention, not from bad acting on Scarlet.
No, not at all.
I'm not saying no one's saying it's not bad. It's bad acting.
No, but
you
can have great better in the movie. So I'm just like
yes, but that doesn't
because
mean
they wrote it that way.
All right, so you know how you're a clown and I'm like the serious one, yeah.
You wish, but okay.
That's because I'm the straight man. I'm the straight man to your, ridiculous. But my point is,
fucking Infinity Wars on the same level as Captain Marvel, bro. You got no clout with this fucking calm man, and no, that's blasphemy, bro.
No, but I'm saying she was the straight man, but where she made up for it was her heroism. Like she was the noble. She was almost like a female Captain America, like in many places. When she could have just let Taskmaster die, and she opens up the thing for him, and says, "I'm gonna make sure I don't kill you again." I think there are moments there, and the scene she has with the bad guy at the end. I think she did really, really well. It's just that she isn't supposed to be funny. She's not supposed to be a funny character.
Those are good arguments.
Hold on, but you see, Nerdman, you're acting like all those scenes and stuff we're saying, or at least I'm saying, is not good. Yes, they are good. Her acting was amazing, but you can have someone who has amazing actor, and then you can have someone who's just a little bit better. And I thought that she was a little bit better than
sure. But when you say stole the show, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't. That's to infer like Black Widow wasn't that great in the movie, but she was great. But that's what critics are saying. That's what critics are saying.
Is what that she wasn't good in the movie?
Yeah, almost like it was stolen from her, and like she was like not given off. I did. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but she was. It was meant to be like that.
I get your point. What you're saying. Yeah.
It was meant to be like that, but I'm not saying that Scarlett Johansson wasn't great in the movie. She was. I just think the shining star for me was Ivana. I thought she did a lot better. Whether it was because of the writing, and I believe it was also designed that way because end credit scene, she's gonna be the next Black Widow, right?
Yeah, it's the handoff. Yeah.
I am just so glad. I am just so glad they didn't do the fucking. It wasn't Black Widow at the end of Endgame. I am so glad they didn't do that. Everybody's talking about that fucking theory for so long. I am so glad it wasn't that.
If they would have done that, I would have pissed
Were
off
you
so many
surprised
people.
by the reveal of Taskmaster and who it was, by the way?
Nah.
I wasn't. I knew from the beginning of the film.
I kind of was because I didn't have, like I was telling Hanzo earlier, I had no idea that they gender swapped it. I had no idea at all. So when it happened, that's why I guess for me it kind of bothered me right? Because I'm like,
Mhm.
I did not expect it. So when I see it, I'm like,
Mm.
my first impression was like, really? That was my first thing that went through my mind was really.
Mm.
But I see how they tied it into the story.
Mhm.
And like
Yeah.
I said
But,
before,
I
they
mean,
did great. That's not a bad thing or anything. But for me personally, I was like Ansel said, it's just another, you know.
mm. Well, I guess, but I mean, that's what I liked about this film as well. I don't think it saved anything for like, oh, we'll save something for the sequel, or you know, we're gonna
That's a one-off.
we're gonna reference something and turn this guy, you know, into somebody that you'd have to have watched the movies past to be to know who
Makes
they
sense.
are. Like kind of,
Mhm.
you know, like the revealing
No,
the
it
red
was
the red
reveal at the
skull
end.
was,
yeah.
you know, like in what was it in Infinity War, where they reveal Red Skull for some reason is this guy in the middle of nowhere, like where they're gonna get the Soul Stone. You know, I think if I hadn't have watched Captain America, I would have watched that being like, what's the big deal with this guy? He's just a light guy with a big red head.
Mhm.
This film has none of that. It's everything you need to know really about what's going on in the movie itself is revealed in the movie, and it's told a tightly woven story. Doesn't save anything for sequels. I like that. MCU doesn't do that a lot.
But in the end game, at end credits, though, the character that's next to him, if you haven't watched the Captain and Winter Soldier,
yeah, you don't
Falcon
know
and
that
Winter
character,
Soldier,
yes.
you don't know that character. Because in the theater that I was, I heard a lot of people go, "Who the hell is that?"
Really?
And one of my daughters who had one of my daughter watches all the MCU stuff with me, and the other one, whenever it's on and she's eating her bowl of cereal, she'll watch it. Like she looked over, she goes, "Who is that?" And my youngest goes, "Well, it's not our fault you haven't kept up with what's on TV, But that's that's the one thing, that
it was the one thing. It was the one thing, and to be fair,
exactly.
it's an after credits scene, so I don't,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what's your ranking? What's your rating of it then? I'm 8.5. What are you saying your rating?
I would have to give it an 8.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, an 8. It's up there. It's up there. I would give it an 8.
I gave it a 6.
You give it really?
You're tripping, bro.
It deserves more. It deserves more than a 6.
So okay, I'm glad you said this. I'm really, really happy you said this. So you're admitting to me, live, you can't go back on this, that every movie after your top 10 in the MCU is a 6 or less. So Ant-Man is a 6 or less.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Fantastic.
Ooh.
Okay, good.
But
So
you want to
agree with me
but
that
hold
most
on,
of the MCU is trash. Thank
but
you.
hold on.
You want
to hear my list of movies though? Ant-Man, Thor: The Dark World, The Hulk, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Age of Ultron, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Iron Man 2, Thor Ragnarok, Captain America, and Iron Man 3. So a lot of those movies I wasn't really feeling too much. Ant-Man I liked. Thor: The Dark World I liked, but I can't give Thor more than a 7 or 6 even because of the villain, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of things in Thor: The Dark World that I do like. The Hulk.
No, but that's great because you've just said the DCU has a higher strike rate for you than the MCU. Because you can't tell me.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not. Because if you want to know what my ratings for a lot of those DCU movies are less than 6. Shazam is a 6. Shazam is a 6 for me.
Really? Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Shazam is a 6
Shazam's
for me.
higher. Shazam's higher. But this movie is better than Shazam, I think, a little bit. I think Black Widow is a little bit better than Shazam.
It's better. Facts is better than Shazam.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit. I like Wonder Woman more, but for my own personal reasons.
Which one?
I think it's a little bit better than Wonder Woman. I'd give both of them an 8.5. Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, the first one, not 84.
Yeah,
no, the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd give that one an 8.5. I'll still watch it probably more than Black Widow because I like the character more. I think she's a more likable protagonist perhaps than Black Widow, but in terms of the actual script of the film and how it, and the fact it's more modern and the action's a little better.
I would actually put Wonder Woman over it. Black Widow.
I could hear that argument as well, though.
Black Widow, Wonder Woman has some moments like No Man's Land. I don't think there's anything in Black Widow that touches that scene for me. I think that scene is absolutely fire. So, and that whole scene where she's like, fucking after No Man's Land, where she's fighting the tanks and she jumps through the building and shit. I think that those scenes are fucking fire in Wonder Woman. So there's a lot of things in that I don't like. But there's just, for me, like I said, when I was sitting there watching the movie, I was just like, it's good, but it just didn't give me that wow factor. You know what I mean? It just didn't give me that holy shit, wow, that's fucking wicked. Like you said,
it was good storytelling. It was a good storytelling, but nothing out of the
that great.
I see, this is the thing about the wow factor. Like, so tell me, what was your wow factor in? I'm trying to think. You've got Avengers, which I can see where you'd get a wow factor in that. I can see where you'd get it in Infinity War and Endgame, even though I think the stories are really. All right, let me say this: like Black Panther, where was the wow factor?
In Black Panther?
Yeah,
there was many. First off, Killmonger's right off the bat. Killmonger's fucking end speech where he says, "I'd rather be locked up or I'd rather die than to be locked up in chains." Absolutely wow moment for me. I love that. That was a perfect line for that.
Interesting.
You
don't think Natasha was a better protagonist than T'Challa?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking. I'm not trying to like get. Don't worry. I'm not trying to get you or anything.
Ooh, are you poking the bear?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'll admit straight up, I'm fucking biased. I'll tell you that straight up.
I can't think of something that in Black Panther that wowed me. I just think it was a tightly written, nice story. That's what I was trying to get at. For me, they're very similar entities, except I think that Black Widow is a little bit dark. Well, no, actually,
I just said I'm biased. Black Panther, hint, hint. Right? Yeah. So Black Panther is gonna beat a lot of movies for me, bro.
Okay,
it's okay. I've been bugging Danny that they should just do the white. Was it White Tiger? Was it that they call them?
The White Panther. White Tiger. White Tiger.
White Tiger. Yeah, there's like, they should just until they find the right.
Call him the White Hood. I'd love to see that movie. The White Hood.
Hell no. Hell no, you don't want to see that shit.
I keep bugging Daddy with that. They should just make it the White Tiger until they find the right person to replace T'Challa. He's like not having it at all. He's like, hell no.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm no.
That's true. Could you imagine Bucky being the star of the next Black Panther? That would be hilarious. You're right, actually.
Black Panther, the White Tiger.
Black Panther 2,
we know
the White Tiger.
Yeah, exactly. so I like the fact that they stage, like, you see how she has the blonde hair right at the end, right before she gets the jet to go and rescue them at the prison. I like the fact they kept those details, right? Because that's exactly how it was in Infinity War, where she has the blonde hair, right? The short.
Yeah. Well, you see, the thing that's good about it is, you get Captain Marvel, and then you get some retcons. They go back and they do something that make something stupid, the way he loses his eye and shit like that. But there was none of that in this movie, and I like.
Yeah, I love the way that black guy couldn't get some. By the way. The whole way through the movie, like she's flirting with him, he doesn't get nothing.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, like, all right. That close scene when they're in the trailer.
Yeah,
it's like you're sleeping in my bed.
Yeah,
I'm on the covers.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh wait, he's sleeping in her bed, but doesn't mean he's sleeping in her bed. You know what I mean?
I was like, they had to make that clear, right? There was no Mendingo there for her.
Thanks, Sci-Fi. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Said he appreciates awesome critique, and
Awesome, man.
and
Appreciate
good
that.
conversation. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I want to know what Poe thought about it. Poe, what do you think about it? Your rankings can be quite surprising. They can be. You know what I mean? They can be. I should be the real hot takes, but Nerdman beats me on that hands down. Guys, Nerdman thinks Infinity War and fucking Captain Marvel are on the same level.
No, I don't. No, I don't. These guys don't understand the idea of like, just because I put the movies next to each other, I still put Infinity War and Endgame higher than Captain Marvel.
Okay,
it's just they're in sequential order. That's
you put them on the same level. And what was the name of that category?
Oh, overrated MCU trash.
That's what you called it. Wow.
Yes,
it's like me saying DC's trash. Remember what you used to call me on?
Yeah.
DC hater, and I'm like, I don't
DC
hate
hater.
it. I just haven't.
Yeah, exactly. I don't hate it.
Yes,
I put Winter Soldier as the top movie. I put Avengers as the top movie.
Winter Soldier was a good movie, man. That's true.
Winter Soldier was one of the best, but for you to even say that Infinity War and fucking there were like two movies apart from each other.
I don't like the fucking movies. What do you want from me? It's my list.
Fucking horrible, bro. That is bad. That is bad. And you know what's funny?
You like the Dark World, okay? You put the Dark World up there, so like,
yes, because
are we that?
Because the Dark World had interaction with Loki and his mom, which was fire. It had interaction with Loki and Thor, which was fire, right? So a lot of the interactions in those movies were fire. That's what made the movie good, right? Fucking have.
Because that's what I go to for an action movie, like a really fun superhero action.
Nerdman, are you
interactions between
Nerdman? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Nerdman, are you fucking kidding me right now? You're joking, right? Because you were the same fucking man who said, well, you know what? They should have had Thor or someone speak to, who was it? Thanos. Someone should have spoke to Thanos and tried to break down the situation of why what he was doing was wrong. And when you I
didn't say it should have been Thanos' mom. I said it should have been Captain America or Iron Man.
Doesn't matter. The mom was part of it, right? The mom was part of this fucking
speak to Thanos? To speak to Thanos or to speak to Loki?
Thanos at the end of Endgame, right? Before they start fighting, he thinks that we should have a little fucking dialogue where Captain America and them were telling Thanos why his plan was bad.
I agree. Put the teapot on.
Exactly.
Campfire right there. Say, you know what you're doing.
It can be done well. It can be done well. I can point to it.
You pull out the bong.
I'm going to give you two examples because you guys are always mocking me for this. I'm going to give you two examples, right? Because they go on like, no, not you, bro. They're always mocking me for this, and it's like they think I'm saying that they should sit down and have like some fucking long form philosophical conversation. Yes. It can be done very quickly and very easily. So I'm going to give you an example. I think it's Basco. Yes, I can call you Basco.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you've watched Batman Begins a few times, right? I don't know if you like it or not. You probably
I do like it.
Okay, good. Yeah. Right. So Ra's al Ghul is talking to Bruce Wayne just before he sets the Wayne Manor on fire, right?
Right.
And they have that little confrontation, and he's saying, "Hey, society's too corrupt. I've been able to infiltrate every level of Gotham." And then Bruce Wayne just, explains to him, like, hey, these people, we still can give them another chance. We can, they still can be better. I can help them do this. Right. It's just a little conversation, but it helps show the real, ideological difference between Bruce Wayne and Ra's al Ghul. And to give you another example from a less serious movie to show you can still do this, right? Don't look at him falling asleep because you're having a conversation. No, I can't take this. It's having a serious conversation. So Shazam and Dr. Savannah. I think you've seen Shazam maybe a couple of times. Or have you only seen it?
I've seen it once.
Okay, well, there's a bit where, where basically Shazam and Dr. Zavanna Dr. Zavan is just about to have killed the Shazam family. And then, Billy says, hey, I'm going to give you the powers. Just leave my family alone. And they walk into this little, realm or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have this conversation about you're letting these monsters take over your mind, blah, blah, blah. It's not, he's just like essentially telling him that he understands that it's because this guy hasn't got a family, he hasn't got whatever, that he's being seduced by this power. It's very, very simple. It takes about, less than 30 seconds, but it's useful and it helps you. I think in the movie, like, again, it's about the ideological difference and it crystallizes the themes of the movie, and it makes it more than just like, hey, who can beat up who. It should be the winner of this, whatever the fight it is, right? It's more than just I'm stronger than you, therefore I win.
But I see what you're saying. But in the situation of the end game, remember, it's 5 years of half the population of the world disappeared, and they were freaking pissed.
No, I know, but it should have happened in Infinity War. That's what I was saying.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There was a couple of moments it could have happened in Infinity War, I feel. And also, yes, there was one moment in Endgame where,
the Captain America scene he's talking about, that could have been the scene where he says some shit. But at the end of the day, right, when it comes down to it, all they wanted to do was stop Thanos. They didn't need to have a fucking conversation with him about why his plan was.
Well, that's why it's not as good a movie. That's fine. It's fine that they don't. It's fine that they don't. But the fact that they don't do that means it's just like, hey, it's just like, oh, let's, pew pew, let's have, this action figure fight this action figure, pew pew, look who wins. It's like, come on, let's have a little bit of moment to think about what the film's actually telling us. I mean,
we get that through the whole fucking film.
No,
Two
you don't.
films, actually.
Why?
Yes,
okay, according to the Avengers, and according to the film, why is it wrong to wipe out half the people in the universe? So
because
as
you're
to
killing people, regardless, you're fucking murdering.
After my lineup thing with that dude thinking everything was a conspiracy, I see why Thanos would want to do that. Some humans just don't deserve to be on this planet.
Facts.
But yeah, just saying.
Facts. Exactly. So Thanos was like, "Fuck that! We just get rid of half of the people and done." But then Nerd Man comes up with his, well, in the long run, blah 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 blah. But we don't know what other kind of things that Thanos had in that, stipulation. Maybe he said, "Fucking, only population can only go to a certain amount," or some shit.
Well,
like
maybe
that.
the film should have told us that then, Onzo, rather than making his theory seem fucking ridiculous and unworkable.
It didn't seem unworkable. It made sense.
We've established, Onzo. I don't want to go. We've established this plan makes no fucking sense.
It does make sense. What are you talking about?
Do you think that? Be honest here, Pascal. Do you think that makes sense? Wipe out half the. So let's assume, right? There's a planet that has the perfect amount of their population. Their ecosystem is like they found a way through technology to through maybe some kind of organic technology or whatever to perfectly balance their system between.
Now you're putting fucking.
No, I'm just saying. No, it's not. What if this or that? You can't assume that you can't assume that every planet is going to be exactly like Earth, right? And there's going to be planets that maybe they haven't even reached technological maturity yet, and they're just, there's a perfect amount of people on the planet at the time, right? And then you half the planet. Like it doesn't compute. to do that to every single planet without having intimate knowledge of their ecosystem, of their population, of their, maybe some planets, they already have low birth, right? Like they're like like panda bears or something. So it takes them, it's really hard for them to reproduce anyway.
But the point is, he was doing, it wasn't just planet, it was the whole universe. So he's seen things that were going on in the universe, right? And because of his experience on Titan, where he actually did that and seen that the planet prospered because of them losing 50% of their population, in his mind, he figured, well, that's what's,
His planet didn't prosper. He didn't do it on his planet. Remember, it was all beat up.
No, he did.
That was his planet.
That was his plan.
But when he tells the backstory, he's talking about doing it on Titan, and because remember he flashes back. Yes, he does, because when he's on the planet, he uses the reality stone to show Titan.
Titan used to be a paradise.
That's what I'm saying.
It was overrun by and so he never got to do that on Titan. That was the whole point.
Okay, so he never got to do it. Okay, but he did. There was something where he did say. No, he did say it because he was talking about Gamora's planet, where he said he killed all the people and now the planet is prospering because of what he did. He did say that.
Yes, that part he did say.
No, they showed that, but he didn't.
It was two different things.
Two different things.
He spoke about he spoke about Gamora and how he saved that planet, but when he was on Titan, he showed that he didn't do it.
He didn't get a chance to do it.
He showed He showed how it was before.
Yes,
and, it was all dust and stuff, right?
Yes, that is correct. And then when he's talking to Gamora, he says that your planet is prospering now because he got rid of half of the population. So, to him, he's seen it succeed. So he's figuring, well, if I can do it on one planet.
Just because it succeeds on one planet doesn't mean that every single planet with sentient life.
But he's a fucking narcissist, bro. All he knows is that it's
succeeded. Why didn't somebody fucking tell him that? That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, it seems. Look, I get what you're saying. I really do. I'm not trying to say because that didn't happen. That I was like, that's why I hate the movie or something. That's not the reason. I'm saying that's just one little small thing where I'm like, yeah, it would have made the movie a little bit more sophisticated if they had have been like, okay, there's an actual, not just a physical battle, but an a battle of ideas going on between the Avengers and this guy. And considering what he's talking about is quite a philosophical idea in a way. You're saying like, hey, like, we have to cut off or prune like half of a population because naturally planets are getting overpopulated and that's going to lead to their destruction. That there's a lot to unpack there, and I think that could have been a little bit more interesting if there was some back and forth between a couple of the Avengers.
I remember watching a fucking superhero movie. We're not watching.
Oh wow! Okay, there you go.
What I mean?
There you go.
All right.
So it goes back to your point, man, about pew pew.
Yes, that's what it is. We're talking about superhero movies, right? Yes, they have their moments, but at the end of the day, it's about pew pew. That's
and lightsabers.
Lightsabers, absolutely. You don't need to see all that rest of that bullshit.
They have those discussions in Star Wars, actually, and that's why I like films like The Last Jedi, even though people hate it.
Oh my god. You see why I tell you I can't take his fucking point seriously?
The Last Jedi is better.
As a standalone movie, forgetting about every single other trilogy that's come before that, I can see what you're saying, but unfortunately,
as a Star Wars fan,
Did you not say that the Star Wars Last Jedi is better than the originals?
Who, me?
No.
Oh,
I said it's better than just the first one. The very first movie, like Star Wars. No, Star Wars New Hope. It's better than Star Wars New Hope.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that movie's that good. Honestly, I think it's
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
The Empire Strikes Back is way better, and so is Star Wars.
I thought you were gonna say something bad about The Empire Strikes Back.
No. The
Yeah,
Empire Strikes Back is very, very good, and then
that's
so
the all
is
time, in my opinion.
so is Star Wars. What's the one after Empire Strikes Back?
Return of the
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. A little bit slow in the beginning. I think it's a little bit boring in the beginning, but once you get into it, once they get to where the Ewoks are, basically, I think it picks up a lot, and I like it. I would say the Last Jedi is in a similar kind of area.
Hold on. Did you just say the beginning of the Return of the Jedi is boring when they go to Jabba's palace and all of that shit is boring to you?
Actually,
Dude,
I paused and one of the dancers in Jabba's palace, because she was actually naked, like underneath it.
Yeah.
So I remember, like,
yes, me too.
Yeah, so that as a kid, man, it makes it the best opening scene ever.
I mean, I'm not as invested in this Star Wars, world or whatever, so I don't look at it probably from the same point of view as others. This is the first time I'm watching it. I'm watching it for a series of videos that I'm doing on it, and I'd love you to join me for that discussion. By the way, Onza. But it's. I don't know. I just didn't get into the beginning of it, and then suddenly it just picks up towards the end, and then it's just like. I really enjoy it as like from the halfway mark. I think it gets to be a really good film. I think the first Star Wars from this new trilogy, I'm not a big fan of that one.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. I think that's a bunch of fan service.
I guess you didn't feel it.
You didn't feel the Force, no.
Yeah,
but I didn't feel it either because I didn't like it either.
I sat there and I'm like, this is just a rehash of Star Wars.
New Hope. Yeah. And they made fucking the black man a janitor. Fuck you, Star Wars.
Unfortunately, yeah, they did. They went they could have done so much with those characters, and they just fucked everything up.
You're a fucking janitor. Kidding me?
And I have to say, I've started watching the third one as well, and I'm like,
Rise of
Skywalker. I had to turn it off after a bit. Like I was just like, I don't know what they're doing after the second one. I was like, oh, this is like the main thing for me about that one was just how much peril they were in. Like it just seemed like there was no way of them winning this confrontation or this situation with Kylo Ren at all. It was like they were dead. Everything was gone, and like every time you thought maybe they would just scrape through, it just all went wrong for them, and then it was just by the skin of their that they got out of that one. And I thought that was an interesting way to take a Star Wars movie. I hadn't seen that before in any of the rest of them.
Do you realize that the Last Jedi was basically a car race? That's basically what it was. It was two ships, the rebels trying to get away, and the Empire following them for the whole fucking movie.
Don't get me on that, Chase. That's the most retarded thing ever.
Dumb.
Okay, fair enough.
You mean they couldn't accelerate faster to catch up?
You know what I mean?
It's like, you see the size of that thing?
You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm really curious to hear why people hate that movie so much. Because I have no idea. I really don't.
And then you have, at the beginning, you have the fucking bomber ships, right? These ships, first off, the fact that the bombs drop in space, okay.
Thank you.
In space, whatever. You know what I mean? I'll try to get rid of that. But these bombers are so fucking slow that the minute the fucking bombs hit the ship and blow up, there's no way they're getting away. There's no way they're getting away. You see how slow those fucking ships are moving? So you're going to bomb them?
MSK City Central DM.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man. I just really was.
I'm.
And how could there be so much fire in space? I don't get that either.
Well, it's not really a sci-fi, is it? Like Star Wars in a way. It's more like a fantasy with sci-fi elements. So I don't know that the physics of their universe is like the same.
Like I said, there's fire in space, probably fart smell in space too. So who knows?
And then we get the infamous mama joke.
What was the mama joke?
Huh?
I don't remember
the mama joke. The mama joke. Hello, yeah, can you hear me? Me? Who's calling? Oh, your mama, or some shit like that. I was like, are you?
That was bad. That was bad. I remember that
at the beginning, right, with Poe on the X-Wing.
Yeah.
But it didn't do much of that humor throughout. There wasn't much of that kind of
but
stuff.
But when you put a mama joke, when you put a mama joke in Star Wars, you just real world it, basically, kind of. You know what I mean? Because they don't do those things in Star Wars.
You mean it's kind of like it lowers the I get what you mean. I didn't like that joke either. That wasn't I wasn't like, hey, this movie's really like got something because of the mama joke. I was like it was pretty bad.
What were you gonna say, Gaishka?
It's a boy says we're not really comparing Star Wars to Black Widow. I'm like, no, we just got sidetracked. No. We just got sidetracked to Star Wars. That's all it was.
No. I wouldn't be comparing the two, But yeah, man, we can get back. Black Widow.
I have to say, watch it. It was enjoyable.
I'm gonna watch it again. But for free.
Yeah, I'm not going to go back to the theater to watch it.
I'm going to watch it again. For
free. I spent less just on my concessions than getting the release on Disney Plus.
Yeah, me too.
It's like what, 30 something bucks, I think.
Yeah, $30 plus taxes.
Yeah, guess what I'm doing? I wouldn't go back and watch it again, but I'm watching it again with a girl called Natasha from Russia tonight.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Natasha, Russian woman. Oh, wait a minute. Way to go, Nerdman.
Excellent. You watching it? You're watching it at home?
No, I'm gonna watch it in the cinema with her. But I wouldn't have watched it again. But I have to pretend I haven't seen it.
I've done that in the past.
Me too. I've done that many times.
It'll be like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Get on her level and stuff.
So you're paying for the date, though, right?
Probably. Probably.
You're saying probably.
It's gonna work out like that anyway, somehow, right?
Yeah, for sure. Just as long as it works out a different way when the movie is over, you're good. You know what I mean?
I don't know how smooth I am, though, dude. I don't know how smooth I am. I'll try. I'll give it a.
You being modest, bro. You being modest. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think she'll enjoy it, right? Because it's not like it's one of those boring movies, where it's just like, oh my god, it's just so boring. Like, I think they had enough action towards the movies where it was like, a talking scene, whatever, then action scene, then talking scene, and action scene. So I think they did the action scenes.
How did you guys see it? Did you see it in IMAX with the 3D, or you saw it with IMAX 3D?
We don't have 3D here more. We don't have 3D here no more. Like no movies that come out in 3D, but it was still in IMAX.
Oh, I saw it in 3D. I'm curious to see it without the 3D stuff.
Really?
Because
I don't enjoy 3D that much, to be honest with you.
I do.
It was blurry around the edges, but it looked really cinematically kind of like it was one of the better films I've seen in 3D, to be honest. Like
if I see it in IMAX 3D, regular screen is just I'll watch it regular, but if it's IMAX 3D, then I'll go see it in 3D and IMAX because it's bigger and it looks like the picture pops out a lot more in IMAX. So that's why I like watching 3D movies in IMAX. But for me, it's Star Wars and Marvel movies. They have to be in IMAX. Like they have to,
Yeah. Well, so how did it look visually, like without the 3D?
It was amazing.
Awesome.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't just the 3D shit.
When the that space helipad is blowing up, that looked amazing, man. Those scenes looked fucking amazing.
Yeah, because I thought it was one of the better looking MCU movies for me. Like the cinematography and stuff. The score was not like from the trailers. I thought the score was going to be badass, but it was okay. But yeah, like
was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. But the score that they did in the trailers was awesome. Do you remember? Like they had that score for the trailers. I thought that was going to be in there somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was pretty good. You're right. It wasn't like it wasn't bad. But what I was saying is like I didn't know because I haven't seen a lot of MCU movies in the cinema. Like
Gotcha.
so I couldn't really compare, you know, seeing it like on the big screen, all the 3D and stuff, as opposed to seeing it on my screen, right? Like I think it's an unfair comparison, but like on my screen, MCU movies usually look a little bit.
So this is Black Widow's Rotten Tomatoes score so far. 81 critics, 94 audience score.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it seems about right because, like, again, it's not bad. You know what I mean? It's not fucking horrible. There's a lot of good stuff in this movie, so I could see that.
And it says this: Black Widow's deeper themes are drowned out in all the action, but it remains a solidly entertaining standalone. Hold on a second. Standalone adventure that's rounded out by a stellar supporting cast.
I actually disagree with that. I think there was a good mix of action and scenes. You know what I mean?
And emotion and family and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I agree with you.
I think there was a good mix of it. You know, they didn't drag on too long. Yeah, it was absolutely. It was well balanced. Who's the director?
That's a good question.
He did a pretty good job, man. Except for the cut scenes, you know what I mean, with the fights and stuff like
Wasn't
that.
it a woman? I thought it was a woman.
No, it wasn't. It was a guy, I believe.
No way. I don't want to say anything, bro. I really don't want to say anything.
I think it was a dude, unless I'm wrong. Hold on.
I you know, like Patty Jenkins directed the hell out of Wonder Woman 1. She really did, but it was lacking in action. Like I think the action scenes were less creative, and every woman director I've seen, and I'm not saying that
it is. It
was a woman. Okay,
yeah,
good.
Kate.
I'm glad of that. I'm really glad of that because I was about to say something and I didn't mean it to be sexist, but it was just like you know, between Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 84, Wonder Woman 1, I'm like, guy, like I don't know, like there's something lacking in the creativity in the action scenes there and how they shoot them. I think it's just maybe female directors aren't given those opportunities a lot, so maybe they don't know how to film it as well as men who have a lot of experience in it. But if this is a woman that directed it, then I shut my mouth, you know, completely.
I didn't think
the action was good.
I didn't think the fight scenes in Birds of Prey was bad though.
Oh come on, that one at the end with the fucking in the clown house or whatever.
I didn't think
like
it
was the physics of that just looked so bad. I was just like, I don't believe these, like, you know, 100 and something pound, like, you know, or whatever, like these women were like taking on these big guys. And it's like their hits weren't physical. I think the actresses said they wanted to do their own fight scenes, and that was the problem. Instead of getting proper stunt women to do the fight scenes for them, and it showed. But
I think they were so bad. And even when Harley Quinn is beating up those dudes, I didn't think that was bad. I think it was the jail scene. I didn't think that scene was bad.
But yeah, I think she did a hell of a job with the action in Black Widow. You know, I love that tank scene. There was a lot of James Bond stuff references. Like that tank was straight out of like that Pierce Brosnan Bond movie, right? Where he's like driving the tank through the streets.
Holy crap. Did you know that this movie started development in 2004?
Wow.
Really? Yeah. The idea of having a Black Widow movie was starting to be developed in 2004 by Lionsgate.
Yeah, they stopped it because they didn't think Black Widow would sell enough toys. It's basically why they put the kibosh on it.
Do you think they waited too long to throw out this movie?
I think it could have come out. I think it could have came out earlier.
I think
they could have. But I think also,
go
yeah, go ahead. No, you first. You first.
No, because I was gonna say they could have brought this movie out after Avengers when they were talking about her and Hawkeye all the way always talking about Budapest and Budapest
Mhm.
and Budapest. They had
And
a great opportunity to come out with a movie, her and him, to know exactly and tie all this in to that movie.
I agree.
That's just my opinion.
No, I agree. I think it could have came out earlier, but I don't have a problem after watching it with when it came out.
Oh no,
I don't have a problem with that anymore.
Oh no.
But I do think it could have came out a lot earlier. Absolutely, we could have got this in like phase 2 or phase 3. I think after Civil War would have been the best time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right after Civil War, I think would have been the best time to do it.
I think they could have done it in the first. Like, honestly, I would have been on the MCU train a lot more if this had have come out earlier.
Well, you can't put it in phase 1, right? Because a lot of the things that they reference in the movie have to do with Civil War. You have General Ross. He wasn't in there
I see
yet.
what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say if you put it right after Civil War, it should have been Civil War, then Black Widow. Then
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I was just thinking just a Black Widow movie in general with the general storyline that this has, not necessarily the reference to Civil War.
They could have done that too.
Like, I think that, but it's great. I was going to say about you compared it to the Wonder Woman No Man's Land scene, and I agree with you. There's nothing quite like that is directed so perfectly and built up so perfectly through the story that it gets you like emotionally in the gut, like, and being like that triumphant in this film. But having said that, there's a lot peppered through of just Natasha's heroism and her humanity that I really, really love. And especially the thing at the end with Taskmaster, the thing with when she's like does that callback to the Avengers where she's like tricking the person into giving them all the information. All of that stuff I think is really, really strong. Not quite as strong in totality, but it's peppered through the movie. In totality as the No Man's Land scene, I mean, but peppered through it is stuff that's really kind of like, I like that. I like this chick,
I agree with you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish up.
No, I'm done.
Oh, did you see how you got a Twitch comment, Onzo?
Which one?
Answer it. Top Dog, 2013.
Did they show a No Way Home trailer? No, they did not.
And before that, he asked, "Who is Taskmaster? Can you spoil it for me?"
Oh, you really want to know who Taskmaster is, brother? Oh, by the way, thank you for watching, because I see this is from Twitch again. So thank you. If you want to know who Taskmaster is the daughter of, what's the guy's name?
I don't remember. The main Russian dude behind
the main Russian dude. Right. So Taskmaster is a female. So yeah. If my last 2 comments irritated people, I do apologize. What were your last 2 comments?
I have no idea.
I never trust Rotten Tomato score. No, I get it. I know a lot of people don't, and I don't too. But I also I use it like a grain of salt. You know what I mean? If a movie's really bad, then it's going to get a bad score. If it's really good, it's going to get a good score. So I don't really judge it. I just kind of get a way people are thinking about it. So I know they could be what's the word I'm looking for? They could be doctored. You know what I mean? They could be biased or whatever, but you still kind of get a little bit of a view. Top Dog said I'm fine with that. So it's a girl. Yeah, it is. Where would you guys rank this out of the Marvel movies?
Everybody wants to know. I have to go back and do a list. Onzo made a list. I never really made a list. I'm going to do that probably tomorrow morning while I'm having my coffee. Sit down and just make a list.
That list that I have is from 2019, and Top Dog, I put it in the top 10.
I put it solidly at number 1.
Wow.
Just
Number one.
either shared with Winter Soldier or just a little bit above it because I like it's darker. It's
I would probably put it in my
darker than
top
Winter
10.
Soldier.
Just don't know where in my top 10. I would have to look at
Awareness
all
is
the movies and
Yeah, no, go ahead. Awareness is perfectly fine. Wokeness is killing the industry and the fandoms. Yeah, I agree with you. If that's the
But
comment you were talking about.
Oh, okay. But I don't know what has that got to do with this movie, though?
Something we said earlier, I'm guessing. But Top Dog said like middle of the pack. Yeah. A little bit above middle of the pack, right? So what's 24 movies now? I put it in the top 10. Yeah.
I can't see how you don't have this in the top 5. Honestly, I can get Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame,
Black Panther.
Yeah, okay, Black Panther because you're biased.
Well, Black Panther is good, but yes, I am biased as well.
That's biased, dude.
No, Black Panther is a good movie.
It's good. It's good.
This preview, I find the Wakanda, the Black Panther part that he does. I'm checking it out on Metascore. Metascore is 68
for Black Panther.
For Black Widow, 68. That's
really?
just the critic score. Yeah, they don't have the viewer score yet because I guess they haven't updated it.
Yeah. He said, "You guys watching Loki?" Yeah, we're watching Loki. Loki's all right.
It's disappointing.
You know what I mean?
I rather watch this movie again than the last.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I would rather watch that because this last episode to me of Loki was, I didn't like it personally. You know what I mean? And I spoke about it. The only thing I did really like is what some people didn't like, which was the fucking alligator. I like that alligator shit, but the rest of it,
the alligator did it for you.
You didn't like the frog lick?
I didn't like any
frog thrower?
I was trying to be nice, but I didn't like any of it. Like it was all the last episode it spoiled even things that I liked. Even Owen Wilson wasn't that great in this one, and neither was Gugu Ambassador.
You know what the best part of this episode was?
Which one?
The Easter eggs. That was the best
absolutely.
That was the best part of this episode.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you get the living tribunal's head in there. You get the frog Thor. You know, the Easter eggs were the best part of it.
You see the Stark Towers. That it doesn't say Stark Towers. It says Kang.
Kang.
So it's pretty cool.
What were the end credit scenes? There was only one end credit scene, and it was
Yelena.
Yelena talking to the chick from Falcon and Winter Soldier at the end. Valentina, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck her name was. LDG said Loki is blowing hard. I agree with you there. Do you guys think it's Kang's castle?
That's what it seems like.
I don't think so. I think
Kang's tower.
I think that who we're gonna see is going to be a variant Loki.
Loki, right?
Yeah. I do not believe we are going to see Kang because Kang is going to be in the Ant-Man, and I just don't see them putting him in the series before they put him in Ant-Man. So.
That's a good prediction, Anzo.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, the alligator was great. Kang, yeah, exactly.
Quang?
And what's up? He says like Quang, but it's Kang. It's Kang.
Because I was about to say that sounds like somebody that being in Shang-Chi.
So what's the next Marvel movie coming out? Actually, is it Shang-Chi?
Yeah,
it's Shang-Chi. Okay,
I believe so. Then it's No Way Home.
Okay, so that I'm interested in seeing. No Way Home, I'm interested in seeing. I'm very excited for the What If series. I can't wait for that one. I actually did a video on it, and I was supposed to post it today, but I got caught up in time, so I'm going to post that tonight when I go to bed here. Before I go to bed here, Kang Tower. Yeah. was instead of Avengers Tower. Yeah, we know. That's
Mhm.
what he meant to say. And yeah, I mean, I just think it's one of those things that Marvel is doing, right? Trying to get people talking like they did with WandaVision. How WandaVision had people speculating everybody that was going to be in there, thought we were going to see a Mephisto, and we didn't get none of that. So
Mhm.
if they surprise me and throw him in there, I'll be like, okay, that's fine. Maybe it's just a glimpse of him, but I don't know. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens with that. So we've been going for about an hour and 40 minutes. We are definitely going to close it up. And what if it is coming? Then I'll be excited. If they do that, I'll be like, okay, this was something that I wasn't expecting them to do, and it'll
Right.
probably get back onto my good graces. But right now, it's just the show isn't really doing it for me. So
Mm.
but with that being said, guys, yeah, we're gonna close it up. We did an hour and 40 minutes. Appreciate everybody that
Oh
came in
shit!
here.
Already? Wow.
Yep. Top dog, I know you're new here. So I appreciate it. I will always do some streams. I will post them to Twitter as well. So if you want to follow me on Twitch as well, sorry. So if you want to follow me on there, much appreciated. Glad you popped in. With that being said, I'm gonna let these guys talk about the channel. Guys, you can tell the people about your channel, sir.
The Basco Scenario is my channel on YouTube. Gaming clips, random reviews. You can find me on Bigger Ford Entertainment's OOC. That's the channel that everything started for me. Always a fire topics. I'm also one of the members of the Chaos Central crew. We have shows starting from Sundays, 5 o'clock for the Loki Roundtable. 8:30 we have the Bad Batch Roundtable. Then 9 p.m. on Monday we have the Chaotic Conversation hosted by Comic Chats, aka Danny Graham. And then Tuesdays we have the Chaotic List hosted by Anzo on Chaos Central. And then we have the Rule of Three on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. hosted by Chris Knight, and then OC at 10 p.m. And we're also going to be coming out with bringing back Game Changer. It's a show about relationships that always brings up good topics and shits and giggles as well at times. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. Subscribe to everybody you see on the panel right now. So again, chat, thank you for being here late tonight, hearing us do what we like doing.
Facts.
Wow,
And
you've got
Dog
your
Dan.
schedule down pat, bruh. I love it. You've got that schedule down pat in your mind, bro.
It took a minute, believe me.
and top dog, just to let you know, Shang-Chi is the next movie coming out, and then the Spider-Man No Way Home. What If is the next series that's coming out. That's the one I'm most excited for. Nerdman, tell the people about your channel, sir.
Oh, my channel, Hot Takes Tuesdays. I am the Nerdman, the Joffrey Baratheon of YouTube. I'm trying to get that going as like my nickname. It's not happened yet, but yeah. So my channel, I talk a lot about comics, comic book movies. I do some stuff on music, and I'm expanding into other areas as well. Certain political discussions as well. I have some fire live stream episodes, weekly episodes that I do, mainly called Hot Takes Tuesdays, after my name here, which is what you can find me on. And that's because I've got a bunch of unpopular opinions about everything from Star Wars to MCU that seems to cats rattled, and I invite guests on to discuss my hot takes, my unpopular opinions, and often it's quite humorous. I get my ass kicked, but I'm always fighting back like Rocky. So
Adrian!
There you go, Adrian. Yeah, exactly. So that's my channel.
And I just want you guys to know this is the same man that put Infinity War on the same level as Captain fucking Marvel. And if that's not a hot take for you, you need to check out his channel, because oh my god, Lex Luthor is the best fucking villain. He's better than all the villains in the MCU. Oh, trust me, bro. Trust me. It's crazy, guys. Like, and I say it all the time, he still doesn't believe the shit that comes out of his own mouth. I know he doesn't believe.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
There's
I believe
absolutely
it.
no way he believes that, dude.
And I'm right.
No, you're not. And Top Dog said he's never seen Star Wars. That's very unpopular. Absolutely. But you know what? For you people that haven't seen Star Wars, I do envy you because you get to go and watch these movies for the first time. You know what I mean? Fresh. So I envy that about you guys. But with that being said, go watch some Star Wars. You will enjoy the movies. Don't listen to this hot takes dude over here because he gets trashed on every fucking stream. I'm just going to say that. He gets trashed on every single stream where he talks his shit.
In their imaginations. No, the people, fact. The people know what I'm talking about. They know. They know.
Yeah. He gets his ass whooped.
That's right.
With that being said, guys, peace out.
Let me holler at you for a minute. 'Cause I just got something that I need to say. You don't know what you do to me. You don't know what you do to me. You don't know what you do to me.
You're damn right, MSK. He does love the MCU.